Is your home too big? What is it worth in today's market? And how do you get ready to sell? Here's Cabot Ray and the founder and CEO of DownSize LLC, Kathy Chiero.
So, Kathy, as a baby boomer, what is the biggest challenge as we approach this decision to downsize?
Doing it. It's over. No, it really is. It's coming to the decision, Cabot, that we have to do this. We don't have a choice. And I tell homeowners, because I know how difficult that is, ask yourself, do I want my children having to do this? And none of us do. Right. So that's the first decision, is just do it. You've got to start the steps to make this downsize decision.
You know, we lost all four of my wife's and my parents, and so we went through that a little bit of what do we do with this piece of furniture? What do we do with that?
Right.
You know, and so I guess it does really help the kids if those parents make those decisions, you know, in terms of what to purge and so forth as they make that shift before that time.
Your kids need to grieve, and
Right.
and part of the difficulty in a downsize decision is we all realize the reason we're doing it is because we are on that tail end of life. I mean, it truly is. So we're making decisions that in the best of terms, we really don't want to have to, it's like planning your funeral. How many people
Right.
want to do that?
Right.
And yet it is inevitable. Well, downsize isn't that drastic. There's still good years to have, as
the
you
golden
found.
years. Okay.
And as you found, there is new adventures
There's
and
life
new places.
after
There is
downsizing.
life. There is life. But starting that decision is tough. But if you don't do it, your kids are going to essentially have to come in and clean up your mess, figure out your paperwork, figure out your finances, figure out where you were legally, figure out who wants, you know, grandma's clock. What did mom want done with that?
Right.
And
right.
so if you can begin making those decisions now and begin that system of downsizing, it's better for all involved.
And to begin that process, as you're saying, to lead into that, what are some of the early steps I should do if I'm thinking about downsizing?
Well, first, look at that house you're living in. It is likely too big, too many rooms, too much land. It has steps, perhaps, that are going to become unsafe if they are not already. And here's the reason you want to make these decisions now, Cabot, because you want them made when you are still of sound mind and sound body to not only make the decisions but carry them out. Attorneys will tell you, financiers will tell you, they'll say, you don't want to make these decisions in crisis because a medical issue has happened or someone fell down the stairs or something. You want to make these decisions while they are still your decisions. So first thing you do as you're thinking about is look at this house and say, realistically, how long can I live here? And then take 2 years off of that.
Right.
Because we all think it's longer than we
have
can.
delusions of
We
grandeur.
do. We have delusions that we can still mow that 40 acres. And so listen to the people around you. Because many times your spouse or your kids or someone is telling you, Mom and Dad, I love you, but you cannot keep being out there mowing. You can't take the laundry up and down these stairs. You can barely walk, or you're having trouble remembering your medications. There's all sorts of red flags that if you're seeing them in your life, you need to begin that process.
Probably been in the house a number of years, so the question is, how perfect does my house need to be?
Well, when I come over, as a realtor, there's a few steps I'm going to take. Number one, I'm going to assess where you are and how much stuff do you have. We find that is the number one problem people have. So I'm talking to you as you're watching this. Don't be embarrassed. I have seen houses with a lot of stuff. Everybody has it, and it is the number one thing. So one of the things in DownSize Columbus we provide for you is resources for that stuff. You're going to want to sell it, you're going to want to give it away, or you're going to want to hold on to it for your children. But let me tell you right now, ask your kids. Chances are they don't want the stuff.
A lot of the stuff,
that you're holding on to for them, and then begin a plan for getting rid of it. Get rid of it for money, get rid of it for tax deduction. Just get rid of it to simplify your life. And as a realtor, I help you do that. Let me give you some resources. Let's start getting rid of stuff. Then I'll take a look at your house and say, what does it have to look like? And no, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be clean, uncluttered, in good order. The major mechanicals do need to be in good repair. The roof, the windows, the heating and cooling, your basement. I'll help you assess that. But at the end of the day, your buyer recognizes you live in that home. We want to deliver it in good condition, but perfect, no, does not have to be.
Well, so what interior features, as I move on to the next place, what am I looking for, or what do you recommend to people in this transition that they should look for inside the new home?
The obvious things, Cabot, is many of our downsizers no longer want stairs. But in more specificity, lighting changes as you get older. You don't see as well, so
Right.
lighting makes a difference. The width of the hallways and doors,
Yep.
does that house need to be wheelchair accessible? There is a whole line of building now called universal design, which it is a building with the idea that you can live in that home your entire life. You don't have to modify it. So we have a universal design expert that we can refer you to. But you're going to be looking at handles on doors. You're going to be looking at safety concerns, lighting concerns, like I said, width of halls and doorways, all of those things. And we have experts at DownSize Columbus to help you do that.
How soon do I begin? If you're projecting, you know, I want to be out of here at a certain point, when do I start the process?
Yesterday.
Okay.
No, I tell people it takes much longer than you think. On average, most of our downsizers come to us 2 years after they started. And even then, they'll tell us, boy, I needed more time. I have sat in homes where people have said, well, come back in 6 months. And I look around and think, no, there's no way. You're not going to be ready in 6 months. So the first thing I would say is, again, don't make it a crisis decision. Recognize now. The most successful downsize transitioners do it because they started 2 or 3 years early.
Right.
They began the early, as we've talked about, the edge pieces of that jigsaw puzzle. They've said, what are the easy things I need to do? And now let's go towards the more complex decisions. But at the end of the day, when you do it on your terms, your way, in your timing, it's a successful residential transition.
So Kathy, how do I decide, you know, what kind of features, what kind of housing is available for me as a transitioner into my golden years?
Well, that's a very good question, Cabot, because a lot of people think, it may not even know the options available to them. Some people want an apartment. They're done living, they're done mowing the lawn, they just want ease of life, and they may not even live in their city, more than 5 or 6 months a year, so they just want a landing pad. The next step above that is condominiums, obviously. Condominiums are a very popular choice. Condominiums offer complete exterior maintenance and no lawn, no snow,
That
any of
sounds
that.
good.
That's good. And so that is a step many take. Others say, you know what, I don't mind a little bit of lawn and I don't like shared walls with my neighbors, so we have patio homes. Those are homes that are freestanding and you take care of the maintenance of the exterior and the roof and all of that, but the lawn and snow removal are taken care of for you. Beyond that, the condo concept, we have freestanding condos, which are great choices for people who still want all the space of a home,
Right.
but they don't want the maintenance, and so they want the condo. And then there is true retirement living, and those are what we call CCCs, continuous care communities. And that's where you move in and you stay in a patio home type setting, but you are never going to leave there. You transition as you need medical care, and then you go into retirement living as you get 24-hour care. And so those facilities are available. A little more pricey than these other things, but some people say, hey, I'm moving once, I want my doctors all there, I don't ever want to move again. So continuous care facilities are available, and at DownSize Columbus, we have representatives from all those groups to assist you.
I used to really make good friends with my neighbors with snow blowers so that, you know, they would volunteer to come help. But, talking about those kinds of places, particularly the kind that you have progressive care options. I know my mother enjoyed in the last months of her life living in a place like that because you have a built-in community, and that's another thing you should be looking for, right?
Absolutely. You have to be careful and guard against isolation, especially when a spouse has died and that was your whole social circle. Well, continuous care communities, I always say it's not your mother's nursing home.
Right.
I mean,
right.
these are places that have Starbucks in the lobby. I mean, they're very,
nice.
very nice. But they have built-in recreational and social venues, everything from quilting to clubs to day trips. And so it puts someone in an environment. Do they want to? They don't have to, but if they do, built-in friends of the same peer group, same demographic that you can enjoy those years with and not feel lonely.
Are you preparing to downsize? Visit our website at www.downsizecolumbus.com or call 614-944-5999 to register for our next seminar. That's downsizecolumbus.com.